Good afternoon, everyone. So now let's move on to Module 24, titled Modernism, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. But before we delve into our discussion, let's read first the learning objectives. So at the end of this module, students should be able to identify the poems, The Road Not Taken, and then also identify the recurrent themes, motifs, and symbols in English American literature. So now let's move on to the biography of Robert Lee Frost. So Robert Lee Frost was born on March 26, 1874 and died on January 29, 1966. He was an American poet. His work was initially published in England before it was published in the United States. He attended Dartmouth College and Harvard University and did not earn a degree. His first book is A Boy's Will in 1913, followed by The North of Boston in 1914. His famous works is The Road Not Taken, stopping by the woods on the snowy evening mending wool. He is known for his realistic depiction of rural life and his command of American colloquial speech. Frost frequently wrote about settings from the rural life in New England in the early 20th century, using them to examine complex social and philosophical themes. So now let's move on to his life and works.
So right now we gonna tackle about the life and works of Robert Lee Frost. So Robert Lee Frost is a famous American poet, and his works were first published in England, and it gains recognition in United States. So Robert Frost was born in March 26, 1874 and died in January 29, 1963. So he became the most celebrated poet in the 20th century. Admired for his realistic depictions of rural life and his natural use of American everyday speech. Frost's writing style was simple, yet it is meaningful. It allows readers to connect with his poems on both emotional and intellectual levels. So he also wrote about the rural life in New England during the early 1900s. So using its landscape, people, and experiences as his inspiration. Through these familiar settings, Frost explored deeper and social philosophical ideas about human nature. It also depicts the choices and the life changes. And his poems often carried lessons about independence, hard work, and reflection of the people, making him timeless figure in American literature.
So now let's proceed to one of the most famous works of Robert Frost, titled The Road Not Taken. This poem talks about the choices we make in life. It begins with the speaker standing at a fork in the woods where the two roads diverge. The two roads represent different paths or decisions we face in life. The speaker must choose one, knowing he cannot take both. So he decides to take the road that seems less traveled by, symbolizing the courage to make his own choice, even if it's not the most popular one. In the end, he reflects that his decision has made all the difference, meaning that our choices shape who we become and where we go in this life. The tone of the poem is reflective and thoughtful. It reminds us that every decision we make has consequences, and once we choose a path, we often cannot go back. The lesson of the poem is to be brave in making your own decisions and to follow your own path, even if it's different from others. Now, do you have any questions or clarifications? If none, that would be all. Thank you.